HKO Live. It's the Tricky Debates.
For good ideas and true innovation, you need human interaction, conflict, argument, and of course, debate. On that note, I warmly welcome you to the Tricky Debate here on the Orange Lounge. My name is Henry Osei. Alright, so send us your text or voice note to 024-488-3008 and let us know what you think about our debate tonight. Right, so who is more difficult to advise? A woman in love or an African woman following a prophet? The format for our debate is pretty simple. They will have the chance to do opening remarks for 4 minutes each. Then we'll follow it up with advancement of arguments. Then comes the rebuttals, 4 minutes as well. Then they will conclude with 2 minutes on each one's side. Anyway, debating tonight are Nana Barnes, the branch manager for Golden Pride Savings and Loans and a business consultant, who is speaking for a woman in love, and Nana Ahuntahun, Nana, who is a land surveyor and a businessman, is speaking for an African woman following a prophet. Right. Hello, Nana Barnes.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, well, God have been so well. How about you too?
We are wonderful. Charlie, anytime you come back from Takwa, you have to trip into the studio. We have a new space. For those of you listening to us for the first time, Radio Max has moved. We are now on top of Ahuntahun Rural Bank here at Anaji. Space is quite big. It's roomy indeed. So when you do come to Takrady, make sure you come around. All right?
Yeah, I'll see.
All right. Hello, Nana. How are you doing? Nana, how are you doing?
I'm doing great by God's grace, as usual.
Okay, good. All right. So, as usual, should you hear the bell? It means your time is up. All right. I hope that's clear enough. Okay. So Nana Ahuntahun, I think you will begin for us. Nana, why do you say that? Your opening remarks on why you think a woman who is following a prophet is more difficult to advise than a woman who is in love.
Yo, good evening once again to our cherished listeners. They should pardon me, my voice is a little bit broke.
Whenever you're going to lose a debate, it can happen like that.
Not okay. Take it like that. Yeah. I have a thought of that is like African woman who is or who loves going to church and love prophecy are hard or difficult to advise than the one in love. The African woman who goes to church, who the pastor says, whatever the pastor says is what they take. But whatever happens to them in their life, they attribute to someone. So if they go and then the pastor use psychology to beat their brains, they presume or they have a thought that, wow, my pastor is the best, or the prophet is the best, or the prophecy that comes to be. No, I'm not disputing the fact that there's prophecy, but at times they use psychology to beat them. And after using the psychology to beat them, and if they come home, no matter what you say, being a husband, being a father, being a mother, they don't use your advice. Because that's what the pastor is saying. The pastor says if you go home, sleep at 6 o'clock. The pastor says that prayer is the key to success. So in the morning, as early as 6:30, they will be at the church praying to God for God to intervene in most of the things that they are doing. The pastor says you should pray till the time that prayers or you get tired. The pastor says do fasting whilst the pastor is eating gari or eating beans or eating fufu and do you do the prayers, God will listen to your prayers and that kind of thing. How can you advise such a person that no, for the sake of your health, for the sake of this, no, yes, you need to pray, but you can't pray as you are in the room. You have to go out to go and look for a job. Pastor says, the Lord says that I am there for you 24/7. So whatever you need is whatever I'm going to give it to you. So yes, is to make a request to the to God, and they will be at the church premises 24/7. I mean, I sometimes find them so much interested at exactly at 6:30 you call someone, the person say I'm at church. What time are you leaving the church? I'll leave that at 10 o'clock. What are you going to do? I'm going to pray for the Lord intervention. What about your room? These are the things that they will do, and at the end of the day, their focus is that whatever takes place, you can't advise them. They are beyond advice. You know, whatever you tell them that, being the husband, forget about it. They'll go to the church and say that, what they normally say, they call their pastors daddy. And they come home and they call Kofi Papa. I mean, these are the people you can't advise them. They call their pastors Papa. They come home and call their husband Kofi Papa, Kojo Papa, Kobe. What? So the difference between them, the one who gives you daily, the one who helps you spiritually, because your husband is your first spiritual father. But they will not heal to them. They think that what the prophecy says or what the prophet says is final. So I'm with the view that the African woman who loves prophecy or who loves or believe in prophets, believe in the pastors, believe in the evangelists, they believe in anyone claiming they are the men of God, claiming they are men of or women of God, they believe in them than their husbands, and then hardly for you to advise them. Whatever you say, forget about it. They don't even know anything about love when it comes to a relationship. So, with me, I'm with the view that they are hardly to be advised than anything. Thank you.
Let's debate on the tricky debate.
All right, Nana Vance.
Hello, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Once again, let's give this opportunity and say good evening to our the cherished listeners. My brother has spoken a lot, and I am on the view that woman who is deeply in love is very difficult to attract than a woman who is following a prophet or prophecy. I'll begin with the saying, and I quote, that there is no reasoning with a woman in love. I repeat, there is no reasoning with a woman in love. It says, her heart speaks louder than her mind ever could. This is a quote. All right? There is no reasoning with a woman who is in love. It's not the mind that is speaking, it is the heart that is at work. All right? This emphasizes the fact that love can overpower logic. A woman who is in love, deeply in love, is a man that, fits all the bills. It is very difficult to advise. The mind is not at work, it is the heart that speaks. Henry, I remember one of our episodes, I spoke of the hormonal influence that comes to play when one is deeply in love. These hormones, we have the dopamine, we also have the oxytocin. The dopamine hormone, they are cells in the body that transmit information to the brain. So when a woman is in love, the dopamine cells, which we also sometimes call them the reward hormone, they reinforce the pleasure. The pleasure the pleasure that we feel from love, and it encourages the woman to seek more of this feeling. The oxytocin, which we sometimes also call the love hormone, promotes the trust, the connection, and the bonding with the partner. So when a woman is in love, realize that her judgment, realize that her thinking, everything has been clouded. All right. I mean, she doesn't think like before. All she does is fantasizing, thinking about how some the gentleman is, thinking about the good time that they have, the constant thought of the person. All right. Sometimes they can't even know themselves in the room for days without doing anything. All they do is to go through their phones, thinking about the husband or the man, place that they went to. You know, the good night that they had together. All right. So you realize that when they are in such situations, they are in a different world altogether. Such a person, it is very difficult to advise. All right. And other things is that they invest so much emotions into some of these relationships when they are deeply in love like this. They invest so much emotions into it. So when they get to that level, it is very difficult for you to advise against anything that will qualify to the relationship. Especially if the husband happens to be a very handsome, the gentleman like myself. Who is so rich like you, Henry, and who is heavily endowed at down there like my brother dear. There's nothing you can say to this woman that will change her mind about the gentleman. She's she's fixated on the man. Day, afternoon, evening, nothing is going to change her. Henry, there's another also popular saying. I quote: "It's a woman in love is like a force of nature. She's unpredictable. You know, you can sit her down, talk to her, and first she tell you, okay, I listen, don't worry, everything is going to change. Then she do a different thing. Because she's
Okay. Your time is up. All right, Nana. So at this point, you need to add to your earlier points and also give us what you think are disadvantages of what his version of things are, and then we'll move on. So your time starts again now. Another 4 minutes for you, Nana.
I'm even surprised at him because he was making submission that earlier on, but I'll come to that. Henry, what I want you to, or what I want our listeners to get to know is that a woman following a prophet is hardly to advise than a woman in love. When someone is following, I will not use the word fake prophet, but any prophet, the person thinks that whatever the prophet says is the best. Whatever the prophet wants is the best. These people are the people that they can even go and tell or sell most of their valuable things and go and give it to a prophet because they think that he is truly a man of God, which he is the only person God can speak through apart from the rest. How can you advise such a woman? A woman who always thinks that whatever the prophet is saying is the best. Whatever the prophet wants is the best. When you go and advise, I said what to a boss nataso. He was saying something. You mati. It's what the person would. He would just be quoting the verses. You know, at times they will quote the verses. When a woman who loves going to church and want that prophecy, or they are following the prophet, and then it comes to a time of giving, they will start giving you quotations from Genesis to Revelation, all the aspect of giving, to the extent that they'll forget that the Bible says that love your neighbor than yourself, but not say love your neighbor more than yourself. But you can love the pastor to the extent that they will love the pastor more than themselves. And then I'll be for a pastor. Say, Eja, daddy, mommy, whatever name they used to call them. Then you come home and you see your husband or your father or whoever who is in charge of you calling the person Kofi Papa, Kobe, Mesa. Then why are you referring to them by their names? Such a person, how can you advise the person? You can't advise the person. My brother was saying something. Now I'm coming to him. Because he went to St. Augustine's, there are certain things that he's been doing which is not fair. Because the mind is full of certain things about love which she thinks that a woman in love is somebody you can't advise. Who is saying so? You can advise them accordingly. They are the people that have the hearts to contain certain things. But the one following a prophet is dangerous. Making references, when you go to someone like, as you were saying that previously, you said this. Yes, whatever quotation, whatever reason that you gave at that time was a different topic on its own. But now if you are making this reference, a woman in love is somebody that you can equally advise every day, because he knows that I'm taking my heart to someone that you can show sheniye, oh matse, and will advise, and your advice will be healed. But somebody who loves prophets, who thinks that is what God is saying, and as he was saying, the time of secondary school, when you are there and then realize that no, you are in love with a woman, like you go and to the extent of even buying a phone for that person. I mean, the Bible says it's good to give. That woman is so much in love with you, so that whatever you tell the woman will do it for you. You are advising the woman. This one, I'm even giving him a typical example, that someone who went to St. Augustine's then realize that there is a woman that you are in love with.
Nana, your time is up.
You can,
if you keep at this Augustine thing, you put me in trouble. I mean, somebody has been telling me to tell you to stop. All right, yes.
Last week I spoke with the headmaster of St. Augustine College. I've got a form for him to tell next season or next time if you join St. Augustine College for me. We're going to start from SS. I realize that I can see, he just loves the school.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm going to be at the school. So, Nana dear, don't worry. The best school of things, you will start off St. Augustine for me. All right, Henry. I want to give reasons why, I'm advising a woman who's not very difficult than advising a woman who follows the prophet. One of the reasons is the fear of loss. Every love often brings with it a fear of losing the relationship or the person that one is involved with. And this fear can lead to defensive behavior when someone offers advice that could threaten the stability of the relationship, even if it is well-meaning. This is one reason why advising a woman who's not is very, very difficult. The other reason is the attachment and the dependency. Sometimes the woman is so attached to the man. Sometimes you realize that the woman's livelihood depends on the man. When the woman is in this situation, advising the woman contrary is very difficult. You realize that her life depends on this man. Sorry, the other point too is hope and optimism. So you realize that there are issues in the relationship, or there are issues that surround the relationship, but because of hope, all right. So every year, and yes, I know today these things are not well, but I know tomorrow things will get better. So this whole thing also makes it very difficult when I advise a woman who is in love. And we also have the societal and the cultural expectations that sometimes also comes into play. Sometimes the person is in the society, everybody in the community knows about the relationship, knows about the relationship that he has with the man. So breaking up with the man is very challenging. Alright, so sometimes when it gets to a point that there are even issues and we are trying to advise a woman even to opt out of the relationship, it is very, very difficult. Because of people in the community who knows of whatever that is going between them, it's very difficult and comes into play a major role in advising, these women. Henry, my father made mention of certain things concerning the faith that a woman who is following the prophecy is. That will be saying we should get all prophecy. So if I'm going to tell me that because I go to a church, so whatever the pastor says, it is final, it cannot be final. The pastor is not God. The prophet is not God. He himself mentioned that some of the prophecies are even psychological. They are man-made. They are not real. How many times does God even speak to this prophet. Some even believe prophet are even no more. The book has been closed. The last prophet was Jesus Christ. So why should the woman even go and follow a prophet? Put the all his hope on a prophet. It doesn't happen that way. Today, most women are enlightened. Alright? Most women are enlightened. They just don't go in with the prophet like that. But a woman who is in love and deeply in love and has everything on this earth or in this relationship, it is very challenging to advise, to counsel, to guide. No matter what you say, all these things about in the man. Especially the man is also good in bed. If the man is rich, the man is generous. The man buys her, buys her good things. The man satisfies her, gives her all the satisfaction that she needs. This woman is very difficult to advise. Anything that you say, she will not take it. Anyway, she realized that the man that you are speaking against is the one that she loves. The man provides her with all that she needs. The man gives her the happiness that she wants. What again do you want to tell the woman that will make her to understand? She will not understand. For me, I believe a woman that is deeply in love is more difficult to advise than a woman who goes to church and follow a prophet. How many of these people even go to church? But love comes with emotion. Love comes with commitment. Love comes with dedication. Alright? Love comes with all. Even if we say we should love with all our mind, with all our heart, with all our soul, with our everything. Bible didn't say we should love our prophet with all our mind, with all our soul, with our everything. He said we should go with our eyes open. He even spoke against them. There are a lot of false ones out there. The Bible says we should love. Thank you, Henry.
Okay, so we are in our third phase now. We'll do rebuttals. That will be 2 minutes each. And then, please, you start for us.
You see, whenever I make a submission or a statement, you and Nana try to take it from a different angle. I don't understand. Let me go to him first. Because I said he went to St. Augustine's, there are certain things, there are certain thoughts of his that makes it like he went to someone who went to a girls' school, because he knows, he always think about love. He doesn't know that there's a way that you have to struggle. How can somebody in love not be held to an advice? It can be possible. Those who are in love, they even listen to their boyfriends and their girlfriends and their husbands and their wives more than any other thing. By somebody who believes in prophets, who think that the prophet is the most powerful person on this earth, apart from God, apart from Jesus Christ, the prophet is the next person in command. And you are going to advise such a person, hardly for you to advise, especially an African woman. But an African woman who is in love can easily be advised by the husband. There is a way. This thing is to let you know that there's someone who can advise the person, but the one who is beyond advice on what brought food also is somebody who believes in the prophet. But for if your fiancé, your wife, whatever, who is in love, he is in love with you. So how can you decide not to advise the person? You can automatically advise. That is why those who went to St. Augustine's, some of them, I'll have to use some, because maybe he falls within the some, that they always think about love and they don't think about any other thing. Because he thinks that somebody in love cannot be controlled. There's someone who is in love is easily be controlled by the one that loves. The love is broad. So if the person loves you, he loves the person to the extent that whatever the person is saying is what he's going to adhere to. I mean, it can be controlled by anyone. It can be controlled by the same person, like the husband or the father. This guy that you are following, please, this. Though the person may think, or you may think the person is so much in love, so the person doesn't follow. But when the person is in love, he has one person to follow. That's the person that he's in love with. So you should stop making that allegation that the person in love doesn't want to listen to anybody. I mean, if you make it like that, it tends to be something.
Thank you very much. The school bit, okay, we'll deal with that. Anyway, Evans, I think you're about now. Then.
Yes, thank you so much.
2 minutes, please.
Yes. As I've told him, I'm even done filling the form for him. All I need is a standard card and passport picture. He can come to me. I will send it to the headmaster. Henry, he said, my brother, I realized that he has never fallen in love before. He doesn't know what love is. You know, there's this particular says, well, love got to do with it. You know, I love that love song so much. I haven't fallen in love before. And I'm happy that I say that all I think about is love. God himself is love. And God thinks that we should love. Henry, it says a woman might be more likely to listen to advice that confirms what she already believes or wants to hear, and might dismiss or ignore advice that contradicts her desire. That's even tell you. Henry, these people who are in love, they don't sleep. They can spend the whole night fantasizing about how handsome I am, about how rich you are, and about how heavily endured my brother. I know it is already. How heavily endured he is. That's what he said, but I know it. It is perfect a woman. How do you advise her? Tell me. When she's there and you send her a text message, when I come on ABC, wow, what testimony. On the whole lot, I said, don't bother when you say, wow, he's coming. You see, they different world altogether. All they see are stars. They see moon. They see monkeys flying. They see horse flying. That's all they see. They're different world altogether. You cannot advise this woman. But the Bible speaks about the prophet. So why do you have to go and put all the hope in the prophet? Say, because I'll put my hope in the prophet. Anything you tell me, I don't hear. But the Bible speaks against this false prophet. You can really advise them because today's women, they are more discerning. Would understand that you don't have to enter into this prophetic whatever with your mind, your everything. Anything that they tell you, you have to take the Bible and check whether it is even true. It's what the Bible says. But love, Bible says you should love with our entire being. Say love with all your mind, love with all your soul, love with all your heart. So a person who has put in all these things in his relationship, then it is very difficult to advise. But when you come to tell me that, look, I mean, advising someone who is better going to be challenging than advising someone who attends church and follows the pastor. People go to church, they come back and do other things. And people enter into relationships, they don't even come back at all. Some end up killing themselves. Some end up committing suicide. We see it every day. Some even go that have gone up mad on the road. It was as a result of the business that they entered into.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nana Barnes. Nana, 1 minute for your concluding remarks, please. Oh, you don't have any conclusion?
No, I just want to tell him that all that he is saying about women in love cannot be advised is something that I just want him to reconsider it, because he has been making statements in connection with, the Bible says that there will be a false prophet, and because of that you advise someone that obibinia na adwiye bibinida. They follow the prophet in such a way that even if the prophet tells them your mother is the one who is behind you not giving birth, that day the mother is in trouble. Mm-hmm. How can you advise that person? They can't even go ahead to say that, because you were going to Europe and then 1 or 2 reasons you were not able to go, it is your mother or your grandmother or your great-grandmother who said no, who uses the face to your face or her face in your face. So when you got there, they did not grant you the visa, and because of that, how can you advise the person? How many women that are in love will just go and do that? So please, you should think differently on that.
All right, Nana, 1 minute for your concluding remarks.
Henry, I would say that in the thing that I just mentioned, I think one of the famous people John, one guy I think said that the pastor advised and went to Jesus.
That's one of. I do not get it.
You're breaking up a little, so come closer. Yes.
Is it clear now?
Yes, it's better now.
I said that for weeks, okay, if we don't do that, let's go to prophet, the prophet that's my mother. I will never go and feel like that.
Okay.
So they said, how do you consider that? You don't normally do that. I will end by saying that the form is ready. Tomorrow I'll bring it in for you to sign and I'll send it to you.
All right. All right. Okay.
Let's debate on the tricky debate.
I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'll bring it in at your office. You only need to sign.
All right. Okay, so here are a few comments we got from our listeners. One from Dr. Pai. He says that women don't fall in love. They decide who to love based on what they can gain. So based on your question, I would say you cannot advise a woman following a prophet. So Nana, that's one for you. This one didn't really give me a comment. Okay. Higa Opoku says that is an African woman following a prophet because an African woman trusts their prophet more than their husbands. But not everything that the prophet has said for us is to be followed. But we should know that our husbands are the first priority to us, and we should fulfill their duties or our duties to them to save our marriages in our lives. Okay. Which other one? For most people, it's a funny topic, but so... Okay, so from Mrs. Barbara Annan, she says that definitely a woman following a prophet. Okay. Mrs. Felicia says a woman in love. Okay, so that would be it for our tricky debate. My own concluding remarks is this. Look, I don't give advice unless solicited. Okay, if you can't see it from their perspective, it's difficult to advise. However, sometimes it is obvious that this person is heading in a ditch, so you won't succeed with no matter the how sugar-coated your advice is to such a person. So don't worry about it. Reality gives a good check to such a person, 9 out of 10. So relax your head and don't worry your head too much about this. I'd like to say thank you very much to our debaters, Nana Ahuntahun and Nana Barnes. My name is Henry Osei. Tricky Debate returns next week.
Orange Lounge. HK